Hey, welcome to What's Upper Pinellas with my good friend and co-host Marianne Davis.
Hey. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Marianne, how are you?
I'm good. We are live, right? So
You're
we
live.
get you
Take a look at Facebook,
here.
see if we pop up there. We
There
have.
we are. So
We got
okay,
any
good.
music. Yep, we got noise coming out of the Facebook or thingamajiggy. And so what's going on with your real estate day today?
Well, I had a great day. I have to start by saying, I had we weren't here last week. And one of the reasons that I wasn't here is because I took I said I was going on a cruise and it was a working cruise. And everybody thought, oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Working on tipping them back,
No,
working on playing.
I have to say, Brian, it is such a good idea. First of all, living in this community, we're so close to the port.
Mm-hmm.
Just left out of Tampa. It was just really reasonable. As I told somebody else, I think it was cheaper for me to go. I would have spent more money if I had stayed home for the weekend. But I was with with my partner, Vanessa Leonard, and we did business planning for 2025. We also reviewed 2024 and we strategized. And there is nothing better because you find that you're not distracted by all the daily tasks of living. And we were so incredibly productive. We joked because Lisa commented, we came back with a big binder, but it's all good stuff. I mean, it's really great stuff. I am just so grateful that we had that opportunity.
It's been a couple years, 2, 3, maybe 4 years since we've done the cruise thing. And, but my memory of it is that phone is very limited and internet's very limited. And it does give you an opportunity to basically either recharge or, have, focused time to.
Well, I did have the internet package. So we actually, Vanessa negotiated a contract.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And nice. I did some listing things. So we did get to do that, but there was not as many calls because we did let people know that we were going to be away. But, or even if it came about because I was listening to a podcast where they said, before you do your goals for the year, give yourself some white space where you can just go away and kind of think and get your thoughts together. And that's what started it. So it was great. And it's because we live in a great area.
Yeah.
So
did you go out of Tampa or did you go out East Coast?
No, we went right out of Tampa and went to Cozumel. It was a little chilly, which was good because then we did stay on the boat. We didn't even get off the boat in Cozumel, but sat at a table on the deck and, it was wonderful. Also, we met it was so funny. We met some other realtors from the area that were on a trip and we had done transactions with them. And somebody hit me up with for a marketing opportunity.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was kind of funny. So
cool.
So today we were just kind of getting back into meeting with the team and going over a lot of those things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. My memory of it is the computer, the internet was kind of like being up on dial-up. It's like you hit a key and then it.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's got better.
It is much better.
But yeah, that's my last experience on boat. So yeah, you're able to get work done if you need to, but it wasn't fantastic. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
It was productive.
It was good.
And such.
How about you? How was your day?
I had an interesting day at the investor group. I basically said to them, for those of you that are out looking for homes, when you see those blue tarp homes, we're gonna have a blue tarp special this month, and it's kind of like the Kmart days, the blue light specials, but blue tarp special. And if you see a blue tarp home that you aren't going to buy, hook me up, send them my way. Give me their name, address, phone number, and whoever has the most referrals at the end of the month, I'll give $100 gift certificate to Lowe's. And the purpose of it is, and they didn't realize it, is blue tarp is just somebody raising their hand saying, I need money, or I don't like the quotes I've got, so I need to talk to somebody else. And so whether they're buying their home, selling their home, rehabbing their home, there's loans out there, home equity lines of credit, renovation mortgages, refinances, whatever the case is, there's ways to help people. And so I'm going to throw it out to Facebook, blue tarp Blue Tarp special running this month, and whoever sends me the most texts with name, address, phone number of the person with the blue tarp on their house. My number's running across the bottom, so if you need to text me, you know what it is. You can test it out right now, 727-642-3762.
I love this. The Blue Tarp Club.
Yeah.
I love that.
Membership is now open.
Yeah, I mean, we did that, and it's something I could do as well as looking for sale by owners.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that go around and text me photos of the for sale by owner signs, etc. And but yeah, it is a need they're advertising their need.
Yeah.
Right?
So Marianne's numbers run across the bottom. If you're out running around town and you see for sale by owner signs, and you want to take pictures of those, that kind of gives her the information she needs to contact those people and see if they need help with the sale of their house. So 727-249-7143. So we got blue light special and we got a Fizbo special running this month. And we'd love to see who the winner is at the end of the month.
Good.
So that's the end of February. We'll run that through February. But what else you got going on?
You know what? I have some information on what we've done in the last week. I know we didn't meet last week, but I'm running these numbers for Upper Pinellas for what's going on in the market. And I have to say, before we go over the numbers, I have to say that, like you know what's going on in the market without looking at any statistics by what's happening with your phone calls, right?
Sure.
And it has been crazy this week. Even as I was away, I mean, the buyers are back. Okay, so now, granted, we do have a lot of listings. There's a lot of properties on the market, and it is definitely moving, or it has been moving towards a buyer's market. However, the buyers are popping back up again. So it's really exciting. So in the last 7 days, and this is from it's Upper Pinellas, which I'm counting as like Gulf to Bay to the Tarpon, to Tarpon, to include Tarpon. In the last 7 days, there's been 169 new listings. Another really interesting thing to look at is 259 price decreases. And I think I know what this is about is sellers still are thinking that they're in the earlier market where they could test the market. In this market, pricing is crucial, which is another reason why it's a good thing to talk to the for sale by owners, because they really don't have the tools to maybe properly price it. And you have to be ahead of the market instead of chasing the market. Right. And that price decrease number at 259 shows that there's still too many people chasing the market.
Right.
36 back on the market, and that could be that contracts that have kind of if something was under contract or came back on, or however, I had 2 listings that were taken off for the holidays, and they're now back on the market. Are sold. That's a good solid number. 76 have closed. But the number we like at is the pending number, which is down a little bit further, and that's 144. So there were 169 new listings came on the market. However, 144 are now pending. That's a great number. Shows that we're just kind of even there. So when somebody asks you, what do you think's going on in the market? I think that it is definitely thriving. It's alive. It's well. It's not sick. It's not dying. It's not crashing. None of those things. So, and these numbers show that.
Cool. 2 things to throw in there as far as price reductions. Just had the largest difference between 2 appraisals in 24 years.
I said we might talk about this. This is definitely a conversation.
Yeah. So we had a $500,000 list price, and list price is $500,000. Went under contract at that amount. The first appraisal came in, what was it, $34,000 short of that. And
I think it was more than that. Because I think it was but you know,
$34,000 short, $34,000 short. And through, basically doing the research, rebuttal and everything, we had to fight. Did get through the lender, got that appraisal completely thrown out. And because it hasn't closed in, I cannot tell you exactly what the next appraisal came in at, but it came in so that we could, complete the sale. So it's supposed to close here as soon as the roof is installed. During the inspection, roof was determined that it needed a new roof. So they're in the process of installing that roof. And as soon as that's done, we close, and I can tell you what the largest difference between two appraisals is. So we'll hold that one for next week.
I know that
absolutely
is
crazy.
That. And you know what, Brian, I gotta hand it to you. And this is why Brian is my go-to person, because he did not say die.
Yeah.
He worked so hard on this, and it was not easy. And I know that you worked to get it together, to keep it together, and to get a realistic number, which it wasn't, because most appraisers, once that's done, you're done. So.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate that. Marianne and I know the neighborhood that this house is located in, because I literally lived like 3 blocks from this house. I used to walk my dog 3 times a day past this house. And when that number came in, we just looked at each other like, what? That's just retarded. And the reality of it is, the appraiser, if you look up the appraiser and see where they live, and they live in, golf course, tennis, swimming community, where all the houses are all the same. And,
not charming like they are.
You can tell community. Like when one blade of grass is out, and everyone gives that, they don't win the yard of the month, in that neighborhood. And the house that she pulled up in front of is a 1926 bungalow,
adorable,
in a fishing village, 3-4 houses from the bayou, and a very eclectic neighborhood, very artsy. And the house is pristine, with the exception of the roof, which they're replacing. But the house is pristine. Should not have come in 1 penny under list price. And second appraiser came from more of a kind of a eclectic, Lutz area, and came in and got the number.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of knowing what you got and knowing what to fight for.
Yeah,
and
that
what's
was
not.
great.
So
I just to piggyback on that, and I say it all the time, how important it is to be partnered or to have a great team with you. I just had you're going to like this one. I had an out-of-state buyer coming from New York, and Brian knows that the transactions up there, they're not handled by title companies. There's lawyers involved, and their close dates are
on or about. If the contract
whatever.
is literally written as on or about.
On or about. So there's, and the lender was from New York as well. And I didn't, this was a referral to me, so I did not get to, advise on the lender. And the lender, like a week before closing, had not done really anything. And he's like, yeah, I think we'll be able to close by the end of the month. And
next year.
Keep in mind that there were 2 other transactions that were happening at the same time. It was a nail biter through and through. And I kept saying, if I had only known a week earlier, I could have moved it over to Brian, and he would have gotten it done in 2 weeks without all the sleepless nights. We thankfully did close, but they didn't have the same sense of urgency and stick-to-itiveness that we have down here.
So that brings me to the next thing I wanted to point out here. These back on the markets and these canceled. If you're a realtor and you're on either side of a transaction, before you say goodbye to it, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to keep these if there's something that can be salvaged there. Happy to keep those moving forward and going towards closing for you, your seller, the buyer, whatever the case is. I'm happy to help you with those. Do that all the time. Anything else you want?
Yeah, no, I think that was good. So, tell me about what else is new. Do you have some programs or some other changes or things that you may?
Yeah. So there's a I call it the loan without all the groans. So it originally came out as
sorry, everything's a slogan. Blue light special,
Blue light
loan
special.
without the groan. I love it because
Yep.
that helps me. It helps me.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
It originally came out for self-employed people, and they go, well, if self-employed people, we're not going to check your employment, we're not going to check your income, so no tax returns, no W-2s, no pay stubs, none of that. As long as your credit score qualifies, 720 and above, and your reserves after closing, you have 12-month PITI, they will close that loan for you. They do it at lower interest rates, and reserves change and the percentage of loan to value. So it's 20% down. And they've just opened that up as primary residence as well. So primary residence, with W-2 borrowers as well. So W-2 or self-employed, as long as you have the credit score to qualify and the reserves after closing. So you have 20% down plus your closing costs, and then reserves PITI 12 months. And that can be liquid funds, it can be investment funds, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or it can be your retirement funds, 401k, Roth IRA, IRAs, that kind of stuff. Any combination, as long as you have it, they'll close the loan with very, very little documentation. Driver's license, social security card, 2 months bank statements, and proof that you have reserves. It's basically the gist of it. Still appraisal, still title.
What's this called? What's this called?
It's called the loan without all the groan.
The loans without the groan.
Yeah.
I think that the industry might have a different name for it, right?
Yeah. It's no income, no employment verification. It's basically what it comes down to. Yep. Yep. And so all the things that drive people crazy, all the things that, get people to throw their hands up in the air and get frustrated. The interest rates are not, conventional on that, because there's risk. There's risk in them not verifying your employment. There's risk in them not verifying your income or any of that stuff. And so, there's a cost for that, but you don't want to mess around chasing paper. So
aside from not wanting to mess around chasing paper, who might this really be ideal for?
People with a lot of assets. But not necessarily a lot of documented, provable income that isn't gonna, I have a guy that buys 4 to 6 businesses a year. He sells 2 of them, trades 3 of them, that kind of stuff. And his paperwork's a mess. I mean, he has at any given time, 20 to 25 companies that he owns, and he'd have to pull 2 to 3 years tax returns on each one, anywhere from 2 to 12 months bank statements on each one. Who's going to do all that?
How about, and I know that we have somebody that has this situation, they're changing jobs to move here, right? They're moving. And so they're not going to have the continuous employment. They're going to have employment, but they're not going to have that continuous employment as long as they have the assets.
Yep. Potentially that could work. We would, obviously make sure that's going to, fit within and be able to sustain the logic behind it. Because somebody actually asked me this, and I went to London and said, hey, they basically said, somebody that has the ability to save 12 months of their mortgage payment is smart enough to realize when they're in trouble or not. And as they start to chew into that 12 months, they go, oops, I'm in trouble, list my house, sell it, and get out before I run out of money. Is basically the gist of the loan. And there is risk in a bank, lending like that.
Right.
But it does open things up for people in unique situations that have planned properly and have assets to pay their mortgage.
Well, the assets mitigate that risk for the lender too. Yeah. So I just want to say hi to Shannon and Lori.
Are they watching?
Lori Savage. Yep.
Hey, Lori.
Beautiful Mrs. Savage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a lucky guy.
Yes.
Lucky she keeps me around.
Well, that's okay. That's exciting. That's an exciting.
Yep. So what do you got? You got houses to show us today?
I do have a really great house. Okay. So this is one of those wonderful houses that came off the market at the holidays. Okay. So the thing about this house is we're going to have an open house on Sunday from 12 to 2. It's 1604 Pennsylvania Avenue in downtown Palm Harbor. So this is a golf cart community. It is virtually or practically new construction. It's 2023. And it is a beautiful 5-bedroom or a 4-bedroom with a den or an office, but that's the downstairs, big open kitchen that looks out into the yard. It's a big, it's a big fenced in yard. And everybody's asking like, well, why are they selling? So it turns out that this buyer who got this house, this great house, she was the first owner of the house. And then shortly after, or I'm not sure how the timeline went, but she fell in love, met the love of her life, and has married and is now moved out to be. They've moved together, and they're not in this house. They're in the other house, and so that's why this has come back on the market. But I have to tell you that she is a great seller because she realizes that the market just hasn't increased that. I mean, she just bought it. It's actually used as one of the comps. It's its own comp.
Wow.
And it's listed at 687. And again, walking distance to downtown Palm Harbor on a golf cart.
Are we west of alternate 19 or east of 19?
It is west. It's east of alternate 19. It's between. It's right down the street from the rec center. The rec center and the Y. You could walk to the Y.
Yeah.
If you have.
So you walk to the high school as well.
You could walk to the high school.
To the high school. Cut through the back there and get in the high school without even having to leave the community.
Oh, Lisa's watching. Hey, Lisa. Yes, she's been in that house. She knows it is a fabulous house.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. We listed this house, I think, a day after the hurricane.
Oh, wow.
Which it had no damage from the hurricane. I mean,
Right.
It was absolutely fine. That's another great thing about this house. You're not going to have mandatory flood insurance because it is in an X zone. And so that happened, and then the holidays. And so I think its time is right now. So come out and see it on Sunday because I don't think it's going to last past that.
Awesome. Looks like a good one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
what else you got?
I got a text the other morning.
Yes, I want to know about this. See, we kind of went through some of the things that we might talk about, but yes, I want to know this.
So I pre-approved for the guy and put, within his price range. He's like, oh, I'm finding all kinds of great houses. I don't like the payment. And so he's like, how do I lower my payment? And so I gave him 5 organic ways to lower his payment, which is buy a home with no HOA, buy a home with no flood insurance required, buy a newer home where hazard insurance is cheaper. I'll give you a copy of this. Buy a house with long-term homestead in place because you will inherit those taxes for the next, until November when they collect taxes again. And so you'll have a step up when taxes adjust, but you'll get to inherit. You get to close with and pay.
You'll have a time frame that you're paying lower taxes.
Yep. And have at least 2 credit scores, 2 of your 3 credit scores, 741 or better, so that you get the lowest interest rates. So that's the 5 ways to organically lower it. And there's 6 ways to manipulate lower payments. One is buyer paid interest rate buy down. So the buyer pays for a permanent rate reduction. You can do a seller paid temporary buy down where the seller puts money at closing into a fund and lowers your payment. They lower the payment that you pay. You still have the same interest rate. The difference between, say 5 and 7, they're putting that 2% in that fund, and that the lender is grabbing that.
And I have to say, when you're out searching for a home, you will see that where seller can contribute to buy down.
Yep,
that's what that means.
But that is temporary. So you're closing at the full interest rate. Your seller is just putting money in a fund to help offset that, and then it'll do a 2-year, 1-year, slow step up, or you can do a 3-2-1 step up. But so it's temporary. Assume an existing VA or FHA low interest rate mortgage and potentially pay the difference or get a second mortgage.
Okay, I have to step in on this one too.
Yep.
But because we're doing that right now, and that is an unbelievable option if you can find it. However, just make sure you have a little bit extra time. The process for this is a little bit longer.
Yeah, you have VA and FHA involved. They're government agencies, and they have no concept of fast closings or speed or really wanting to help you. But it is possible if you're persistent and diligent in working with them. Increase your down payment. You can always put down more money. Decrease your purchase price.
That's a
Buy a distressed property on a reno or rehab loan, and then build in the equity and the HGTV look you want. Because in doing that, you'll create equity, and the house will be lower than you would have bought it already finished. So my all-time favorite is buy the house in your current budget, because it's not your last house, it's just your next house. And then with the current tax returns, tax laws, and check with your CPA, I'm not one of those, or your accountant, to see that you qualify. But every 2 years you can trade up in the houses and take that profit from the 2 years of appreciation and equity growth, and pay no taxes on it up to $250,000 per borrower, or $500,000 total, and keep trading up until you basically work your way out of a mortgage. So
that's my plan.
Yeah, the trade up plan. And so you won't always like the answers I give you, but I'm going to give you honest answers so that you can make decisions that are best for you. And this is just some of the things I do for people, is work through to help them figure out how to get what they want, and work within the system.
That's great. Mm-hmm. And Brian, if you want to put your number up there too, you can text Brian your email address, and he can email you this.
Yeah, happy to share this with you. Go ahead and send me your email or your text. I can text it as well. Set it up as a document and text it to you. So happy to send it to you. Great idea. So what else you got? So
you can set it up as a document and text it. I have to tell you, this is how pathetic I am. I just found out how to scan a document into my phone. Simple, easy. My daughter taught me.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm like,
those kids are good for something. They're giving back to the elderly. They're helping the elderly.
It's really sad.
Like you hold your hand when you cross the street.
It's so sad.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, yes.
I rely on my kids. All the time.
Yeah.
For tech questions, and they laugh at me.
I ran into your son yesterday.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Brad.
Oh, that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were at Lowe's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe he wants to win the Lowe's card.
Yeah, I bet you he does. He's just like me. I was getting all new appliances for my home that got flooded. Mm-hmm. Hopefully the tenants are moving back in this weekend, the 1st.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. So a little bit of a time to get it back together, but
it's not quite done. So I've got a day?
Oh. Did you offer higher Brad?
I should have. I should have. It was it was great to see him though.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had him on the phone today. Had him teaching me how to fill a boat with gasoline.
Oh, see, there you go. They're so good.
He's like, Dad, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that after every time you use it. I said, oh, we want to play that game.
That's so funny.
So yeah, it's just fun.
So I have another thing. I was on my way here. I noticed where the Savage Studios is not far from Alderman and 19. Mm-hmm. And there's that plaza that has just a ton of new things I hadn't seen before. They're very, there's a lot of wellness things there. There's a salt cave. And there's a Living Young Center. Have you been to any of those things?
I'm not even familiar with what you're talking
about. Look at that. This is where LA Fitness was.
Okay.
That plaza. I think it's called Alderman Plaza.
Yeah.
And LA Fitness is not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a Crunch.
Crunch. Yes, they're hiring. They're doing a job fair today. Okay. Anyway, so there's a big salon that's just opening up.
Loft.
It's kind of like a salon loft, yes. And then there's also this salt cave experience where you go, and I think that's where they have all the salt caves, and you go, and all the minerals are supposed to be helpful for you. There's also
kind of like a spa. It's a spa.
I didn't go in, so okay. I have to.
Check it out.
Or if anybody that's watching knows about that, let us know.
Yeah.
Because there was just a lot of new places over there that I had never noticed before. There's a Living Well Center. that does different therapies, wellness therapies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there are three. Obviously, there's First Watches in there. It's been there forever. It's kind
Which
of an
is
anchor.
great. I love that.
Very good. There is a Latin bowl that Zach
Fairly new.
turned us on to.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
There is Big Mama's Barbecue, which they know us on a first name basis.
Okay.
Do not order their macaroni and cheese. You'll be addicted, and it'll add lots of pounds to your rear end. No, it's fantastic. Very good stuff and super nice people. And then the third one is Demoishi, which
that's where I went.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I did a Locals Rule, Natty's Rule in there, and they do Asian fusion,
like poke bowls,
and noodles,
it's Hawaiian.
Ramen.
It's a Hawaiian kitchen.
Mm-hmm. So I do the Hawaiian barbecue chicken. And Zach got me hooked, and then I got Bray and her mom hooked. But yeah, that's very good.
That's right. I grabbed myself a little smoothie.
Mm-hmm.
I asked for less sugar, and you could tell.
Yeah. Yeah. kind of
I did it myself.
Kind of grassy. Kind of earthy. Yeah. That's funny. Funny. And then one last thing, I don't know what else you have.
That's it.
I was just going to say I'm starting a challenge over the next 90 days. I'm going to post 90 houses in 90 days, and that's basically going through videotaping houses that are new to the market, price reductions, houses that you're having trouble getting eyeballs on, whatever the case is. So an effort to help move some of the inventory that is building up. And you can text me, address, whatever. I'll walk through, put it out to my 5 social media sites.
And friends. I was like, you have more than 5 social media friends.
My 5 friends.
My 5 followers.
My 5 friends. Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, no. He's got more friends than that. Hey, I have to say, Patsy is listening or watching from the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, we're international now. Thanks. Good to see you.
Thanks, Patsy. Yeah, welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
We'll have to do one outside for you here at the middle of the winter.
Our weather is phenomenal today.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
It really is. We've had a couple of cold days in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And
yeah.
No, I did. I actually walked my dog last week. It was like 34 degrees.
It's very cold.
And 2 sweatshirts, 2 long sleeve shirts. I mean, I don't own a jacket here in Florida, cool. And I actually had to put long pants on, so it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't like.
Yeah, not fun.
That's right. I'm sorry I interrupted. Please tell us about your challenge. So how can we help you? What can we do?
Welcome from UK, there, Patsy. Welcome to the podcast. And so really it's just an opportunity to highlight, new to market, price reductions and or houses that are maybe sitting because they're not getting the right eyeballs. By putting it out on my social media, it's going to get a different set of eyeballs than your social media does. And so it's just an opportunity to help you move some property and get me out of my chair and get me moving.
Or if you're looking for property, it'll help you see other things that you might not normally see. So definitely, we're getting some traction here on our audience, and I love it. Also, if you have questions, our goal is to meet here every Thursday around 3:00.
Hey, the one thing that does happen is we close on time. So those always happen.
Very true.
Our show, not so much.
Pat says need a coat. Not today. No coats today.
No coat today. I'm in long sleeve.
But you don't own one.
I don't own one. I don't own a coat.
Doesn't travel much either, but that's another thing.
Yeah. I'm a beach boy. That's right. And on the video thing, the other thing that I'm helping with a client with is I'm documenting his fix and flip. So if you're in the process of buying, selling, rehabbing, and selling a property, I want to create some excitement for your fix and flip. I'm doing that as well.
I just want to say, because you brought that up, I should maybe video the renovation in the house I have in Tarpon that was damaged during the flood, because quite honestly, to have it back put together in this amount of time is really kind of remarkable. I mean, it's all done, and we had some great people working on it. So if you are in need of vendors to help you, or finances to get it done, reach out.
I love to videotape that for you, and you can, give me a list of the people that vendor if you want to send their business, and we'll push business their way. I'm happy to help. So that's what we do, help other people, help them get what they need and want out of life.
That's it.
So anyway, anything else I can do for you?
That's it, I think.
Anything else we can do for Patty that wants me to buy a jacket?
We need her to come visit us.
Yeah.
So you're always welcome. You got a place to stay, multiple places, but I'm just really excited for all of you that are listening. Thank you very much. I hope to see you maybe at the open house or some of the others, and please send us videos, pictures, thoughts, questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's always a pleasure, and thanks for being a part, and thanks for everything that you guys are doing to get us to want to be here and share with you what's going on in Upper Pinellas.
Upper Pinellas.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.